Hello everybody, welcome or welcome back. So it is the end of the month and it is time for another reading wrap up. What have I read in July? Let's get straight into it. I'm looking at my little pile of books I have right here and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 books. I've read 10 books, currently reading another book which I feel like I will finish before July's over, so we're going to say 11. According to this, I've read 3 physical books, 1 Kindle book and 5 audiobooks. So a lot of these I like half physically read, half audioed, but I just put it down as audio because I'm pretty sure I audioed more of it than I read. But yeah, pretty good reading month. Oh my god, we had a 5-star. What was that? I feel like that was a reread. Yeah, first book I read this month was The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren, which is Dusty. So I was excited about this book because I liked the idea of it. The whole like vacation, fake dating, wedding scenarios was kind of sounded pretty interesting, and it's like a rich family, which I was like, okay, I'm excited about that dynamic. I feel like rich families in books are often a little bit like kooky, so I was excited about this. Not necessarily based on like Christina Lauren's track record for me. I don't know why I had high hopes for this. I didn't love it. I feel like I rated this like a 3-star because it was fine. Didn't love it. I had to move straight onto the audiobook for this because like physically reading it was like getting very irritating for me. I found the main girl really like not like other girls, coded, like quirky girl coded. I can't remember a lot of it, but I had a reading vlog where I was talking about it, but she'd just like say things that were just really annoying, just unnecessary stupid little comments that would just take me out of the book and be like, well, why have you written that? That was not funny. Like trying to be funny and it's not funny. But yeah, the guy was nothing. Blair, don't remember anything about him. What I did like about this book, like I said, I really liked the holiday family dynamic of like this rich like kooky like family who are all just kind of like fucking weirdos, and it's entertaining to watch. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend this for your summer reading, but you could read it. Next, I read Fury Song. This is the last book in the, what is it? The Aurelian trilogy? I can't remember what it's called, but the first book is Fireborn. Then there's Flamefall, Fury Song. This was the last one. I don't remember what I rated this. But I liked this series overall. I think this wasn't my favourite out of the 3, but it was a good ending. I loved like the politics in this series, and I did really enjoy it. Like it kept me really engaged. The only thing that was missing was like a really strong romance for me. There's a romance, but it's just not, it's not giving. It's not giving what I need it to give. I want my romances, especially in like a fantasy, to be like, nobody else in the world but you, like I'd die for you kind of vibes, and it just wasn't giving that. I'd recommend that series. I would definitely recommend it if you like Fourth Wing, any of that kind of stuff, but yeah, missed the mark on the romance a tad. With that, this was like kind of rogue. I read Taming 7 and I read this in a day. Mainly audiobooked it, I'll be honest. I just put the audiobook on and listened to it all day, but I could not get myself to stop listening. I was having such a good time. If you're like scared about reading this book because you've heard like not the best things about it, but you love the series, so you like need to read it, I'd recommend trying an audiobook for it because that was really like, I had the best time. I rated this like a 4.5. like I definitely understand why people were maybe a bit disappointed coming from like, they're up there. I always point, but like you don't even know where I'm pointing. Compared to like Binding 13 and Saving 6 and all those. Like I get why this doesn't live up to that. But in its own right, I did think it was a really good book. And it did make me like fall a lot more in love with Gibbsy and Claire. Like I was not that excited about Gibbsy and Claire. Like I like them, they're fine, but I wasn't like, I need that book because I'm just happy with my girls. I'm happy with Johnny and Shannon. Like I was happy there. This made me love them a lot more. I thought it was cute and like fun. The whole like stuff with what's her face, Lizzie, like so infuriating. Don't get me wrong. I find when a character is like being unjustly like mean to another character, like that is my biggest pet peeve. I knew it was coming, so I feel like I kind of enjoyed it because it was just like drama entertaining. Overall, I really, really liked it. But if I can see, if I'm like so excited about this couple comparatively to the other books, why I would be let down. But personally, I had a good time. After that, I was in the mood to do some rereads, so I filmed a reading vlog doing a bunch of rereads of some of my old 5 stars. And first things first, we went straight to Fourth Wing. I've been wanting to reread this since I read it. I mean, this, like, the first reading experience of this was like none other for me. I remember like physically I could see myself reading it, sat on my bed, turning those pages, not being able to stop giggling, kicking my feet, having the best time ever. And rereading had just as good a time. I really, really do love this series. Like, you can critique it all you want. Like, I love it. I really do. Yeah. Second time around, still a 5 star. Made me want to reread Iron Flame. To be honest, like, I shouldn't have reread this now. I should have waited until it was closer to the next book coming out, because I'm gonna have to do rereads anyway. But I had such a great time, and I'm already like, I could read that again. And I'm not a rereader, to be honest. Like, I've been doing a lot of them recently, but for the most part I'm not really a reader. And especially when I finish a book, I don't usually feel like, oh, I want to read that again. Usually I'm like, okay, no matter how good it was, that's fine. As soon as I finished this, I was like, I could pick that up again and go again. So I love Fourth Wing. And then another reread. I reread Archer's Voice, mainly because I remember when I read this, I gave it a 5 star, and I was just thinking about it. I was like, I don't think it really was. I think it just like was good, and I expected it to be good, and everybody else rated it 5 stars, so I was like, okay, it's good, that equals 5 star. But I was like, was it really a 5 star for you? Like, you are not, I don't give 5 stars out willy-nilly. Like, only the very, very, very best books get a 5 star, and on the reread, this is giving 4.5, to be honest. Amazing. That's such a good rating. Love this book. Love what are their faces? Archer and what's her name? Bree. Love Archer and Bree. It's such a sweet, cute romance. I feel like I in future would reread this in like autumn time. I feel like that would be really fun. It just, I don't know, it didn't give 5 star anymore, which is fine. Really good book if you like I would die without you kind of vibes. Honestly, the relationship in this is low-key kind of like, not toxic, but it's definitely not healthy. It's a book, so it's fine. It's really good, it's really cute, it's really sweet. It's just not a 5 star anymore, but I'm not gonna go back and like re-rate it. Like, Holly at the time gave it a 5 star. I stand by her. And then the final reread that I did this month was Ghosted by J.M. Dar Howard. This is another one that I gave a 5 star when I read it. It wasn't that I was looking back at it like, I don't think it's a 5 star anymore, but no, I don't think it was a 5 star at the time, but I was like, if I read this now, I don't think I would give it a 5 star. So I reread it. This is great. This is like a very original romance plot, in my opinion. It's this famous actor who he's giving Chris Evans, like very much giving Chris Evans like super Captain America vibe. The public doesn't know is that he is a kid, so he's kind of trying to come back into his childhood sweetheart and his kid's life, who he's kind of like just not been there for. And this is in past and present perspective, so you're looking at them falling in love and kind of falling out, not falling out of love, but like breaking up, so all that, and then you're seeing him trying to come back into their lives. It's really, really sweet. I really, really loved this on the reread. I said 4.75 on the reread. If I was reading this like originally now, like first time I'm reading it, it'd probably be like a 4.5. But it really like gave nostalgic vibes and just like, I don't know. 4.75 felt like a fair rating on the reread. The child in it isn't annoying. If you get annoyed with kids in books, I feel like I used to really hate having a kids in books, but now I actually really enjoy seeing a family relationship kind of forming in a story. I feel like that's like adds another plot alongside the romance, which means I don't get as bored. So yeah. After that, well, I started this before I started doing all my rereads and then paused it. So I read like half of this before and then half of it after. This is Clockwork Princess, the final book in the Infernal Devices series. This was me kind of give Cassandra Clare a second chance because I want to like her book so much. I want to invest in the Shadowhunter series so much. Mortal Instruments just didn't do it for me, and I was like, okay, I don't like urban fantasy. Like I just don't. So maybe that's why. Maybe I can try one of the other series and it's gonna give more. This is kind of like Victorian era England, which that right up my street. Love the idea of that. I was really enjoying the first two. Really enjoying is a stretch. They were giving like 4.25 kind of vibes. They would get better towards the end, but it wasn't like keeping me hooked and excited about the next books. This gave like 3.5, 3.75. It was like fine, but it just didn't, like, I wasn't like, I need to read it, I need to see what's going to happen, I need to finish this series. Like, one thing about the entire series and all of her books, to be honest, for me, everything just like goes like this. Like, whether you're in a dining room having tea or in a like proper big battle scene, the tone for me just read like that the whole way through. I couldn't, nothing was getting me excited and up and down and da da da. I just, everything sat on that level, which obviously isn't great if it's meant to be this big battle scene, because it just doesn't hit. But yeah, the love triangle is good, I guess. I don't know, it just, I don't know, it didn't make me fall in love with the Shadowhunter world, which kind of disappointed me, because I felt like if any series was going to do that, it would be this one. I don't know if I'm going to read The Last Hours. I'm debating. Probably not, because I don't think I'm going to like it that much, and it's just a waste of time. But I wish. Will Herringdale does kind of eat. Like, I get it. But I picked up Krista and Becca Ritchie's new book, Dishonestly Yours. I love Krista and Becca Ritchie. I have my Addicted series right there, which is just my pride and joy. I've been wanting to reread. I might potentially be wanting to do a big reread of that, but I don't know how that's going to go, considering there's 50 books and it took me like 2 years to read them. But maybe. This is obviously the first book of their new series. It's following these two sets of siblings, which are part of these two families. Their mums are best friends and they're con artists, so they like go into these rich circles and they con people out of their money. Anna Delvey like vibes, like that kind of like rich, like pretending to be rich to get money out of people. In this book specifically, we're following Phoebe and her bestie Hayley, who's part of the other set of siblings, like these two sets of siblings, and they want to leave this con lifestyle behind, so they go to this little like Pretty Little Liar Pretty Little Liar vibe town, like, you know, like Mystic Falls vibes, Vampire Diaries vibes, you know what I mean, like that kind of vibe town, to work there and kind of escape that life, but blah blah blah, whatever. And then Rocky, who is Hayley's brother, Phoebe's love interest, kind of like follows them there and is kind of trying to persuade them to leave, also not, I don't know. Romance between Phoebe and Rocky it's a good start. We're not there yet, like I need to see more from these characters. I'm excited about the next books. This was a good start. I gave it a 4 star. It kind of like, I was having a good time, and then middle of the book I kind of was like, okay, I'm kind of like fading out, this is like what's happening. And then I had a good time at the end again. So overall, I'm excited about this series continuing. It wasn't an amazing book, like I wasn't like whoa, but I think it could be a good start to an amazing series. So Dishonestly Yours. Next, this is so exciting. This is the most exciting book that I've read this month. I can't believe it, read Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. I've been putting off reading this series for a while. I got it at Christmas, and I think it's because I finished Caraval, like that series, and I just did not love Legendary and Finale at all. And it was like, okay, well, that's kind of naturally just gonna kind of dampen my mood surrounding the author. And then also, obviously, A Curse of True Love came out, and everybody was like, that was so disappointing. So naturally, I'm like, okay, well, now I'm not excited about reading that trilogy at all. But I did really love Jax from Legendary and Finale, so I was kind of excited about the series. But then again, I'm very much like, I don't want to read about a love interest who's still like in love with someone else. And if you read Caraval series, you'll know what I'm talking about. Like, but I picked this up because I've had it for so long and I needed to get to it. I felt like summer was a good time to read these series because it's kind of giving like whimsical Alice in Wonderland vibes. Picked it up, devoured this in like one night, not one night, but basically one night. So good. I rate this a 4.5. It could be a 4.75. I absolutely loved this. I could not stop reading. Jax, again, I love him. I feel like I know that I kind of know, no I don't. I want it to go a certain way, the series, and I've got a feeling based on what everybody said about the last book that it's not going to go how I want it to go, and that's just fine, but whatever. I'm going to just live in the delusion now that this is going to go how I want it to go. I thought this was so fun. It moves at such a crazy pace, like unbelievably fast, but it doesn't feel rushed. It just feels like, kind of like I said, Alice in Wonderland whimsical, like nothing's in time, everything's kind of like mystical, not how it seems vibes. Very that everything is not how it seems all the time. Well, that's a very good part of it. I also feel like that's why it's not a 5-star, because I was reading it, I was like, this has potential to be a 5-star, but because it's so whimsical and like, which is what's good about it, but it also means that I feel like I can't completely connect to the characters, because I'm like, there feels like a glass wall between me and the book. Like, it just, you know what I mean? It's like too like topsy-turvy for me to really like. But maybe the next book could be a 5-star. I have hope for that, because I really loved this, and like as soon as I finished it I wanted to pick up the next one. Yeah, definitely recommend at least reading the first book if you haven't yet. So after that I picked up Reckless by Elsie Silver, because I need to get this fucking Chestnut Springs series done. I've said it over and over again. Everybody loves this series. It hasn't hit for me in the same way. It's whatever. We just need to get it finished, because I'm actually kind of excited about the new series she's been coming out with. The first book's Wild Love. I can't remember what the series is called, but I'm pretty sure it's all single dad, and that's up my alley. Like, I like the idea of like cowboy, single dad, romance, whatever, blah blah blah. This was probably my second favorite in the series. Heartless was my favorite, then probably this. A lot better than Powerless for me. Powerless took the characters away from Chestnut Springs. This was set basically completely in Chestnut Springs. So we saw the family, we saw the cowboys and the bull riders and all of that stuff, and it was just the vibe that I wanted from Powerless, because Powerless, I don't know what the fuck was going on in that book. This set in Chestnut Springs with the family. Really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed Theo. He was great. Fantastic. Very like happy-go-lucky, nice guy. Also really enjoyed, what's her face? Winter. I'm actually so glad that I read Flawless so long ago that I don't really remember any of Winter's character, because I'm just not a very forgiving bitch when it comes to characters. Like, I am not usually here for the character redemption. It's like, oh, they just did it because of this. Probably because like I just don't handle myself like that. I feel like if I took anger out on people rather than just like internally like hating myself, maybe I would be able to get it more and relate more and like this like character arc that we sometimes get with these characters. For me, I just don't, I don't know. But it was so long ago that I couldn't remember it, so it was fine. I liked her, she was great. Again, this has a trope in it which I was talking about earlier that I have been enjoying a lot more lately, so that was a fun way of like seeing them fall in love through like how they love someone else. Like, I think that's always really cute. Yeah, it was good. It wasn't, I skimmed a bit of it, I'm not gonna lie, but it was pretty good. It was like a 3.75. Pretty good. Wrap this up. I'm currently reading, I don't have the dust jacket I'm afraid, but this is The Ballad of Never After. I'm like 100 pages in, having a good time. No fucking clue where this book's gonna go, but I'm excited to see. Again, like I said before, things just happen so quickly. You're never waiting for that thing to happen, which, like, something that you think is gonna happen at the end of the book, suddenly it's happened, you're like, okay, where the fuck are we gonna go with the rest of the plot? Because I thought we were gonna spend the whole book trying to get there, but now we're here after 20 pages of reading. Okay. Having a good time, having a great time. So that's gonna be it. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys next time.